guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. My name is Hallie and I'm so happy that you're here, and welcome back to, finally, another reading vlog. Today's reading vlog is very exciting for me personally because it is actually going to be my first ever reading vlog on medication. Round of applause. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, I am now fully medicated and doing much better. And I'm really excited to see if being on ADHD meds specifically affects my reading at all and my ability to be able to like really lock in and pay attention. I'm assuming it will, but I'm just like really excited to see in practice like how much of a difference I can really feel while reading a book. So that's what we're going to be doing in today's vlog. We're going to be doing some reading, seeing how my ADHD meds affect my reading, and seeing if I can finally get myself out of my reading slump. But before we get too far into today's video, I do want to really quickly thank the sponsor of today's video, MorningBlues. Now guys, I am genuinely so excited to be partnering with MorningBlues for today's video because the picture frame that you see behind me is actually something that I have been wanting for a while now. I saw it on Instagram like months and months back and I thought it was so cool. I immediately sent it to Marky and I was like, we're gonna have to get one of these, okay? So I was so excited when they reached out and wanted to work with me. Since getting it in the mail and like setting it up and everything, I genuinely have been using it every single day, like not even kidding, almost all day long, because it just has so many different uses and it sets the vibe so perfectly. So I want to tell you a little bit more about the MorningBlues T2 portrait speaker. The T2 speaker is basically art, furniture, and a speaker all combined into one piece, and it is honestly so visually stunning and versatile and unique. Plus, the sound is really good. The T2 speaker is made with a canvas-like surface and slim bezel to preserve the brushstrokes and the grain on all of the different art pieces that you are displaying on your speaker. It also has a canvas-style display with a custom high-definition panel for true-to-life color. The T2 is super simple and easy to use and understand. All you have to do when you get yours to set it up is download the app and then connect your phone via Bluetooth. And that's literally it. And from there, in the app, you can customize your frame literally however you want. And when I tell you there's so many options, it's actually insane. Recently, I've really loved the feature where I can just like upload my own little graphics and make it like even more personalized. Right now, obviously, I have the little pink screen that says probably reading. I just think it's so cute. But on top of being able to upload my own personal graphics or videos, I also have been really loving displaying different pictures from my camera roll. And it's really cool because you can customize it to where it like filters through a little shared album, or you can just pick like if you have one main favorite photo that you want to display, you can have that be the entire canvas. I also have really loved making the little custom gallery photo walls where you can pick a bunch of different photos and have them all displayed together. It's really customizable. You can customize the background colors, which photos are in there, swap them out at any time, and the kids love coming in here and seeing their little pictures. I think it's so cute. Included in the app as well, there are tons of different modes that you can choose from. There's the lyric setting that you can switch to, which basically makes the lyrics of the song that you're currently listening to come alive on screen as the song is playing. And that has honestly been so fun. And now that I think about it, I feel like that would be so fun for like a little karaoke moment if you like have your friends over. And even within just the lyric mode itself, like there's so many different scene options that you can choose from. You can also switch over to the meditation mode and be instantly transported into a beautiful and relaxing scene. You can also choose to display one of the over 100 world-class paintings that are included in the app, or you can keep things simple and display one of the many dynamic clocks that are included in the app as well. There's genuinely an option for any mood or scenario because of how customizable it is. And I also have to mention, because this has in fact already happened to me and I was so thankful for this feature on the speaker, if your phone like dies or gets lost, or you just for some reason don't feel like trying to change the settings with your app on your phone specifically, you can literally just go right over to the side of the speaker and then just use this little control panel to adjust the settings. You can hold this button for 3 seconds to turn it on and off, or do a short press to put the frame into sleep mode. You can use a 4-finger swipe on the rainbow bar to switch between modes, like switching between the art display, the lyric scenes, and the photo albums, or you can just use a 1-finger swipe to quickly switch between the previous scene to the next scene. That's so nice. As a girly whose phone is chronically dying or lost, you've solved all of my problems right there. I just think that it is so cool and so unique. I've genuinely never seen anything else like this, and like I said, it has become like a daily staple for me. All day long, I'll have some form of like classical music or like aura meditation sounds just like playing in the background while I get work done or just relax with the kids or like even trying to get back into reading. It just like sets the mood so perfectly. And with reading, it has been so cool because I will literally just play the audiobook from the T2 portrait speaker. I'll be able to just like lay down and do some immersive reading while it's like playing there. And I also have been loving, like, while I'm reading a book, I have been putting like the character art or like the vibes of whatever the world is of the book that I'm reading on the screen. And that has just been such a cool way to like enhance my reading experience. I have honestly loved it so much. So if you would like your own MorningBlues T2 portrait speaker, I will have the website linked down below in the description box. I highly recommend checking them out. Like I said, I have genuinely loved having mine so much already for so many different scenarios. You will 100% be seeing me use this in every single video from now on because it just sets the mood so perfectly and it's so fun. So like I said, make sure you go and click the link down below to visit MorningBlues and get your very own T2 portrait speaker. And thank you again so much to MorningBlues for sponsoring this portion of today's video. Okay, getting into the books that we're going to be trying, emphasis on trying, to pick up throughout the course of this weekend. First of all, we are starting this on a Saturday and I'm gonna try and be very casual, very chill about it so I don't scare myself out of reading these books because my slump is so bad. But I do have a little bit of a glimmer of hope because the last few days, for some reason, I have started to feel very inspired to pick up some of the books that beforehand, like 6 months ago, were like some of the books that I was most intimidated to read, which is so weird. And I'm like, is this a bad idea trying to break my slump by picking up all these books that used to really intimidate me, but for some reason sound really good right now? I don't know. I guess we'll find out together. One of those books is Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Since reorganizing my bookshelf, she's been staring at me. I've been staring at her. We've made eye contact so many times, so I finally decided to bring her to bed with me. I would like to at least try and start this, try and get into it and see if the vibe is right. Like, I know to get out of my slump, I just need to find the right book for the right time. And then once those connections click, hopefully all of my problems will be solved. So this book I am so highly anticipating. I know so many people regard this series as like one of the best fantasy series of all time. And I do know that this fantasy series, like while there are subplots of romance, I'm pretty sure that this fantasy series is a bit more plot focused, world focused, all of that stuff. I don't know if it would technically be considered like a high fantasy as much as people consider Red Rising a high fantasy, or like Lord of the Rings or Game of Thrones, like things like that. But from what I've heard about this book, it is much more fantasy heavy, which I feel like I am like really wanting right now in a book and in a story. There are subplots of romance, but also what I've heard about Robin Hobb's writing style is like there's a lot of this book where like 7 pages will be just the main character and his thoughts while he's like walking for like miles and miles, which honestly I feel like for a lot of people would scare them away. But I realize that I really like being inside a character's head a lot in a book. I feel like it makes me more deeply connected to the character because I feel like I know them at a soul level. So like I actually really haven't minded so far. I'm not going to speak too soon because maybe it will really end up bothering me or something, but so far I really haven't minded like rambly thoughts and like on and on and on where we're just like in the same moment, in the thoughts, like just all of that stuff. So I'm hoping that I will actually end up really liking the slower pace of this storyline because I will be able to connect to the main character so much. So fingers crossed with that one. So this is one of the ones that was really intimidating me that for some reason I have just had my eye on the last few days. The other one is the first Game of Thrones book, which I don't think I'm gonna try and pick up this weekend. I think I only want to like try out one of the super intimidating books at a time. I don't want to like be mood reading through multiple of those. Alchemized is a big one that I have really been wanting to read, especially because I was talking to my sister about being in a slump and she's like, Hallie, if you pick up Alchemized, I swear to you, you will be out of your slump. So that is a big one that I'm like really want to get into, but I feel like this just feels more approachable because it is the shortest of all of the books that have been intimidating me, and also I feel like I'm leaning the most towards this like world and storyline. So this is the first book that I have, Assassin's Apprentice. I'm so excited and I really hope that I like it. And then the next book that I have is Air of Illusion, and this is one that Marky actually just bought me the other day. Barnes & Noble was having like a buy one get one 50% off sale, and he surprised me and took me and got me a couple books. So this is one that I picked up because it honestly just sounded like a good fantasy romance time. And the one time I keep thinking of, like when I was in a pretty bad slump, I read Serpent in the Wings of Night, and that like fully instantly brought me out of my slump, and I was like back and better than ever. And so this was kind of giving me that same vibe, not necessarily in like plot or world vibes, but in the sense that it would just be like a fun romantasy, if that makes sense. And this one I actually did already read up to page 5, which, would you believe me if I said that that is actually like a record for this year? Like, I'm not even kidding. I can't even make it past like 4 pages lately in a book. So I made it to page 5 of this book, and I actually didn't want to stop reading, but I had to get up and help my kids with something. So that is very hopeful information. Okay, I'm feeling very hopeful. So these are the 2 books I think I'm going to be like focusing on this weekend. I really am putting no pressure or expectation on myself to try and finish like both of these in the next few days. I honestly would feel such major accomplishment if I even made it halfway through either of these books over the weekend, because I just have not been able to get into anything this year. So those are the 2 books that we're going to be starting with. Right now, I am actually about to go to a little pool party for my sister-in-law's birthday, and then after that, we are having a goodbye party at my grandparents' house for my youngest sister because she's about to move to California. So the next time that I see you guys will either be at the pool if I end up recording anything. I don't know if I'm going to, or later tonight after all the festivities, I'm gonna come home, wash my face, put on some cozy pajamas, and try to get into reading. And I'm so excited because it's been so long since I've just had a cozy little nighttime reading sesh with you guys. So I will see you soon. Hello, you guys. It is the next day. It is not morning time because I was a lot of it dead inside. However, we are having a great day. You want to know why? Can't believe I get to say this. I am having the best time in this book, and I'm so happy about it because I genuinely never thought I would see this day come again. So let's talk about it because I'm so excited. Also, let's just ignore my hair right now, please, because it is very gross from being at the pool all day and then being at the pool all night. I just need to wash it. I think I'm gonna do my hair oiling tonight and then have a little wash day moment. But anyway, to the book, because that's what's most important here. This book, camera battery dying 5 seconds into talking, is so funny and so accurate for this moment. Anyway, about the book, I am having such a fun time. I started Air of Ashes, as you saw last night, at literally 2 a.m. I didn't know what was going on with me when I got home. Even though I was like really tired, I just like had such an urge to read. And because I was feeling that, I was like, you know what? I don't care what time it is. If I'm feeling this feeling, I'm letting myself read, because it's so rare that I even get a glint of that feeling. So I was like, you know what? We're just gonna take it and run with it. And last night I read probably like 2 chapters, I think. And then I did pick it up and read some today, and I'm just having the best time. I literally haven't picked up Assassin's Apprentice literally at all, and I'm honestly not really like upset about it because I am just having such a good time with this. So I am currently on chapter 22. So I've done a little bit of reading today. I made it through the first couple chapters last night, and already I was just enjoying like the vibes. Like, I don't even know what it is. It's just like the characters. I immediately was just like, oh yeah. Within like the first scene, the way that they were interacting and the dialogue was like funny, but also very intriguing with like what they were talking about. And then already seeing hints of like the magic that she was able to use, because the main character, her power power is like illusion, so she's able to go invisible basically. And then she also has this really rare power where she can create like a duplicate copy of herself. It's like a vision. I mean, she's like, I think she's solid. I actually don't know now. I'm pretty sure she is like a solid copy of her, but it's not like her really. It's like her illusion copy. I don't know. But that's just so intriguing to me. And it starts off and you literally just get like right into it. It's not like slow setup, whatever. You open the book and you're thrown, bam, straight into the middle of a scene. So I think that that really helped me to get into it because of the fact that you literally just jump directly into the plot and moving along and finding out what's going on. And there's already questions that you have by the end of chapter 1. Who are you? What's going on? What is wrong? So I realized I didn't really tell you guys a lot about like what this book was about whenever I first was talking about like my options for this weekend. Basically, this book, we follow our main character who obviously, like I said, has these powers, and in this world she is a wraith. And this is all like explained right away, so no spoilers here, by the way. But basically when she was a kid and she started showing that she had signs of power, her dad realized that she's not his child because he's immortal. Mortals can't have kids with powers. And he ends up really like despising her for it because he's like, you are a bastard child. This is like a shame to the family. Like, I don't love you. You're not mine. All of this stuff. And essentially ends up making a bargain with like the ruler of their land. Like, not the overall king, but it's like the king of the kingdom. Well, so yeah, the overall king. It's just in this world, I think there's like 7 different kingdoms with like 7 different kings, and all the other rulers of the other kingdoms are all fae except for the king of like the land that they're in, or like the kingdom that they're in. Anyway, he ends up making a deal with the mortal king, basically exchanging his daughter for something. I forget what they even like made the deal for, honestly. I probably should have remembered that, but I'm just here for the vibes at this point. He makes a deal, basically sells his daughter to the king. She's now basically the king's like prisoner, and she has to wear this collar that is like magically bound her to him. Like, he has all control over her, and she's essentially forced to become the king's personal assassin, and she can't get out of it because of the collar. So that's kind of her like setup and her story. And right whenever you get into the book, the very beginning of the book, you're instantly put into a scene where she is out doing her assassin duties. So that's all I'll say about that. Already I'm like, okay, that's super interesting. And then the fact that you open up and you're like, boom, we're in it. Such a good start. Like, genuinely loving it. And then the male main character, he is this like super broody, mysterious, shall I say, shadow daddy, even though I hate saying that, but he is. He absolutely is. And he's like a grim reaper, basically. He has these ginormous wings. So we actually have a winged shadow daddy. I hate to say it, but I love it. So he's this tall, brooding, dark, grim reaper, and they are essentially forced to work together to go on this like mission to get this super dangerous and important weapon. And that's all I'll say because I'm not gonna spoil anything. That's just the setup for the plot. I don't know, like, I think first of all, something that is really helping me to get into this is, like I said, it is so fast paced. Like, not only do you get into it very quickly in the beginning, but like the plot has continuously moved throughout this whole time, which has really helped me because there hasn't really been any like lulls in the plot where it kind of slows down and I'm like, okay, but what's gonna happen next? Like, I kind of wish it would go on. It's like, no, everything seems to be feeling like it is like good pace where things are just consistently moving along at like the right speed, I guess. Second of all, I definitely think that my ADHD meds are helping me read because having the kids around all day today and like actually being able to read this much of the book while they're like around me is like unheard of. Before being on meds, I feel like I had to really focus on like setting up my environment for like the optimal success of me being able to focus on what I was reading, because the surrounding noise and just like everything like that catches my attention so quickly, and my mind will like lock onto that without even like realizing that I'm doing it until I look down at the page and I'm like, wait, what did that say? And I've read 4 paragraphs, but it's like I didn't actually read the paragraphs, just my eyes did. So I definitely did notice that because there was times where they would like come into the room and be like giggling with each other or like playing over on that side of the room, and I'm like sitting in bed reading, and like I didn't even realize that they were in the room, which again, unheard of for me. I mean, I could hear them coming from a mile away and already I'm distracted and not locked in anymore. So in those moments I really was like, Oh wow, how long have I been reading with them in here? That's kind of crazy because that never happens to me. And I also just think I still have noticed myself having to like reread here and there where I have lost my attention a little bit, but it's definitely not nearly as, what is the word I'm thinking of? Not common, frequent. Thank you. It's definitely not as frequent as it was before I was on meds. So that has been really interesting too, because I feel like there's just longer periods of time where I'm able to like actually focus without losing my train of thought, I guess, or losing my focus. Why am I making that confusing to say? I don't know. Anyway, so that's really exciting that I actually have a few things that I have noticed with regards to like my ADHD meds and stuff like that. And I also just think I really was able to start locking in more and more as I went because of the fact that I am enjoying it so much and I haven't in so long. And so because of that, I'm like extra excited to like just be in this world and be in this story and see where it's going, just because I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm just so happy. I'm just so happy that I'm actually enjoying it and actually wanting to keep going, and it's actually keeping my attention, and I'm actually just like interested in it and wanting to read it. So this is like genuinely the best weekend of my life because I'm actually enjoying this and I really want to keep going. So like I said, it is the next day. We're having a cozy little Sunday wind down right now. Both my kids are currently with their aunties. They went over to have a little bit of a play date. They just moved like right next door to us, so the kids have been very excited to go over there and have play dates any and every chance they get. So they are over there, and then in just a little bit, me and Marky are going to go over there back to the pool. Again, we're having a very Arizona summer weekend, but we're gonna go back over to the pool and do a little poolside dinner moment because there's like a really nice little grill set up and some picnic tables. So we're gonna have dinner by the pool and then have a little sunset night swimming moment all together. So I wanted to sit here and read a little bit more what I can before it's time to go. I am also considering looking to see if they have the book available from my library so I can download it on my Kindle and just like read on my Kindle where I can at the pool, because that sounds so nice, having dinner by the pool and then reading poolside while the sun sets. Like, that sounds amazing. But actually, I don't know when the sun sets today, and I don't know if we'll end up heading over there before or after the sun is setting, so we'll see about that. But regardless, we're gonna read for a little bit here and then possibly also at the pool if I can find it on my Kindle. But I'm just so excited that I actually had some positive news to share with you guys, because I was losing hope there for a second. I'm not going to lie. I literally have been afraid that, like, because with ADHD, it's like you make hobbies your entire personality, and then once you're done with it, like, you're done for like years. So during like my first year of reading, I was really worried that that was going to happen to me, but then I made it to like 2 years, 2.5 years, and I was like, no, I love this and I'm actually in this for life. And then this slump hit and I'm like, oh my god, am I losing genuinely the best hobby that I have ever discovered in my life? No, the answer is absolutely all caps no. And I'm so happy about it. So we're gonna sit and read as much as we can before it's time for us to go over and have dinner and go to the pool, and then I will see you guys later tonight because I absolutely want to have another cozy night of reading that doesn't start at 2 a.m. so I can actually like enjoy it a little bit more. I mean, last night I did have a good time, but I would like to have a few more hours to actually enjoy reading in bed rather than like the 30 to 45 minutes I got last night while I was like fighting my body to stay awake so that I could enjoy my book. So let's get to reading, and I'll see you guys in a little bit. I'm having the best time. Hello and welcome to the next day again. today is Monday. Technically, the weekend is over, but this Monday kind of ended up feeling like a 3-day weekend because I convinced Marky to take the day off. So it did feel like a 3-day weekend, but I did have a really busy day today. This morning I had an appointment with my psychiatrist to pick up my new meds. I got a refill of my ADHD meds, and then I changed my dosage on my Zoloft. So picked those up today, went to do that appointment, and then while we were out, we went to this burger place that's like right next to my doctor's office. And on the way home, Marky wanted to stop at like a used game shop. That game shop also had books. It was like a really big, it felt like half-price books in the back half of the store. It was honestly kind of crazy. I wish I took a video, but like when you walk in, it just seems like it's gonna be like a very small shopping mall storefront, and then you like turn a corner and it's like endless aisles of used books. So I did pick up some books. I mostly got books for my kids, but I did get one book for myself. I got this Kristen Hanna book called Distant Shores, and I've never actually heard anyone talk about this Kristen Hanna book. I think it's like one of the earlier ones she wrote. Like I'm pretty sure this one was published in like July 2002. So it's definitely one of her older ones, but I really want to read more Kristen Hanna after finishing The Nightingale. I really liked it. And the synopsis of this one, it just sounded really interesting. It's basically about a marriage in crisis, which we all know I recently discovered I really enjoy marriage in crisis books and like getting to see the couple work through all their issues and like find their way back to each other. And given how like emotionally deep The Nightingale was, I'm really excited for this one because I really look for that in books that have a romance specifically or like a couple specifically. If there's like just so much emotional depth to it, I just love it so much. So I'm very excited to read this one. And then I picked up 3 little books for my kids. I just thought this was so cool. I would have thought this was so cool as a kid. It's like all about little little ocean creatures and like ocean life. I don't know. I just thought that was so cool. And then I got this little one called Look, There's a Pug because my daughter is obsessed with pugs, and it's basically like a Where's Waldo, but you're finding like all the 10 different pugs. And then I liked it also because on each page it has an extra like hidden object for them to find. So I got that. And then lastly, I got this for both me and kind of my kids. They're not as interested in it as I am, but it's just like a huge book about like the lore behind the Pirates of the Caribbean and all of the different like pirates and stuff in it and all that stuff, which obviously I am emotionally attached to Pirates of the Caribbean. So I got it. So we ended up doing a fun little impromptu book haul, book shopping moment, and that was really fun. But an update on Air of Illusion. So I'm currently on chapter 32. That's page 306. I'm having such a good time. This is such a good, like, just very easy fantasy romance without it being easy in the way that it's boring, if that makes sense. Like, the plot is so intriguing, and it does have like a really good amount of world building, found family elements, romance buildup, all of that stuff, but it's not so in depth that it's confusing or hard to follow or like overly political or overly romance. Like I feel like it's just such a good balance. And while I was reading this yesterday, I did find myself thinking, I feel like this would be such a good intro to fantasy or intro to like romantasy book for someone who's like just getting into reading or just like wants to try out the genre but is intimidated by fantasy romance or like fantasy in general, because it's just so fast-paced, so easy to follow along while still being like very intriguing and interesting. I love in this book the way that the enemies to lovers aspect of it is structured. It's like one of my favorite dynamics between two characters, specifically in like enemies to lovers or like having a morally gray character. It's when like even though the enemy or like the morally gray character is bad technically, there's just a element to their character that really makes you feel like so empathetic for them. I'm trying to like figure out the best way to explain it. Like whenever you can see a side of that character where they're so like emotionally vulnerable, they only open up for that one person, and so it's just such a like sweet and moving moment or like side of their relationship when you know they have this super hardened exterior and are a bad person, but it's like they have this super tragic backstory, and it makes you want to just swaddle them up like a little baby and protect them forever, you know? So I've been really enjoying that, as well as obviously the plot and the world and all that stuff. I'm very interested to see how it ends, how it leaves off. I do think that this has like a cliffhanger at the end because I think it is the first book in either a duology or a series or something like that. But I feel like I have a guess for what might happen at the end of this book. And if I'm right, I will be very surprised because I genuinely am never able to like guess anything coming. But while I was reading, I just kept picking up on like a few little things that like kept being kind of nonchalantly brought up. And I'm like, is that foreshadowing? Am I picking up on something? So I'm very intrigued to see where we're gonna go, if I was correct in my guess on like the direction that we're gonna go. I don't really have a guess for exactly like what plot twist may be or like what exactly is going to happen. I just think I kind of know what general direction we're gonna go in, so that's very exciting. But with that being said, that is where I'm going to end today's vlog. We are winding down on our Monday, the end of our 3-day weekend. I just took a shower, washed my hair, so I'm going to blow it out. I already did all of my skincare, and then I'll probably sit down and finish this book tonight, have a cozy little night of reading, and try to start another little reading vlog. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss future content coming from me. But with all that being said, that's all I have for today's video. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!